Dear students, welcome back in this video lecture. MA Education Program Course Philosophical Foundation of Education, Unit 5 Educational Thought of Great Philosophers. Next philosopher is Jiddu Krishnamurti. Jiddu Krishnamurti was an Indian philosopher and educationist. By expressing his views on God, he said, if your heart is full of love, then no need to search the God anywhere because love is God. He quoted, the real meaning of life can be realized by education and truth can only be established by education. He emphasized on balanced development of human personality. He believed life is not static and changes should be as per the need of time, environment, and situation. Jiddu Krishnamurti was born on 11th of May 1895 as the eighth child of a pious couple in the small town of Madnapalle in Andhra Pradesh. He was adopted at the age of 14 by Annie Besant, the president of the Theosophical Society, and was brought up and groomed to be the world teacher. Krishnamurti, as a sage, philosopher, and thinker, illuminated the lives of millions worldwide. Breaking away from all organized religions and denying his role as a guru, he spelled out his mission, which was to set man absolutely and unconditionally free. He traveled round the world, giving talks, writing, holding discussions. He talked of the things that concern all of us in our everyday life. He deliberated on the problems of living in modern society, the individual's search for security, and the need for human beings to free themselves from their inner burdens of violence, fear, and sorrow. His scholarly research into the philosophy of education abounds with accounts of contributions of several educational and social leaders to the understanding and practice of education. They include great men and women who have expressed their views on the what and how of education, some among whom have also established institutions to propagate their ideas. According to him, educational philosophy is a wider and deeper engagement. It involves seeing educational holistically and in its relationship with the totality of life. Its goal is enlightenment through sustained reflection on the very fundamental of education, its meanings, ends, and means. From this perspective, Krishnamurti stands out from among the galaxy of educational thinkers chronicled in history. He sees the ultimate basis of all learning in the innermost working of the human mind. This is not psychoanalysis, as it is commonly understood, but a deep independent look into one's own person, into one's innermost thought feeling, concept of mind, thought, intelligence, attention, perception, freedom, love, and self accordingly denominate his teaching. Understanding them for what they really are holds the key to the transformation of the individual and society. Psychologically, the individual human being is inseparable from the whole of mankind. His key concept of goodness, responsibility, relationship, and love are associated with the life and humanity as a whole. Being a representative of all mankind, you are responsible for the whole of mankind. This total responsibility, absolute care, and concern for the good of all is defined as love. Education is the cultivation of such a responsibility in the student. Goodness and love in all our relationship can transform life. According to him, our thought is the root of all our sorrow, ugliness, anxiety, greed, pain, power, and violence. It is a destructive factor to the wholeness of mind, its infinite capacity, and its total emptiness in which there is immeasurable energy. Education should help one to free oneself from the limiting influence of thought. Thus, one can experience life in its wholeness. जिद्दू कृष्णमूर्ति की गणना आधुनिक युग के श्रेष्ठ चिंतकों में की जा सकती है। उन्होंने अति मूल्यवान शिक्षा दर्शन प्रदान किया जिसके गंभीर आध्यात्मिक और नैतिक परिणाम हो सकते हैं। जे कृष्णमूर्ति क्रांतिकारी विचारक थे। उन्होंने हर प्रकार की बाह्य प्रामाणिकता अथॉरिटी का निषेध किया, चाहे वह व्यक्ति की हो या पुस्तक की या परंपरा की। उनका विचार था कि किसी व्यक्ति, ग्रंथ या परंपरा द्वारा हमें सत्य या यथार्थ का ज्ञान नहीं हो सकता। इसके लिए हमें स्वयं प्रयत्न करना होगा। वे धार्मिक संप्रदायों और संगठनों के भी विरुद्ध थे, क्योंकि ये सत्य की प्राप्ति में हमारी सहायता नहीं कर सकते। शिक्षा का महत्व, इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ एजुकेशन। कृष्णमूर्ति ने नई पीढ़ी की समस्याओं की ओर विशेष ध्यान दिया। उन्होंने खेद प्रकट किया कि वर्तमान काल में अधिकतर बालक अपने माता पिता का सम्मान नहीं करते, वे उनकी नहीं सुनते, उन्हें कोई परवाह नहीं कि वे क्या चाहते हैं। वे अपने माता पिता के चिंतन के प्रतिमान अपनाना नहीं चाहते। कृष्णमूर्ति के अनुसार उसका कारण बालकों का पालन पोषण। उनको प्रारंभ से ही सही शिक्षा, सही प्रशिक्षण दिया जाना चाहिए। परंतु कृष्णमूर्ति परंपरावादी नहीं थे। उन्होंने कहा कि हमें एक ऐसी पीढ़ी का निर्माण करना चाहिए जो निर्भय हो, जो भूत से सहमत न हो, जिनमें बुद्धि हो और जो विवेक से काम ले सकते हो। वर्तमान शिक्षा प्रणाली की आलोचना करते हुए कृष्णमूर्ति ने कहा कि हमारी वर्तमान प्रभावी शिक्षा प्रणाली दोषपूर्ण है, क्योंकि उसमें ज्ञानार्जन पर अत्यधिक जोर दिया गया है। वह जीवन की संपूर्ण समस्या को समझने के लिए पर्याप्त संवेदनशीलता और बुद्धि का विकास नहीं करती। वास्तविक शिक्षा को न केवल ज्ञानार्जन के योग्य बनाना है, बल्कि संसार की और वस्तुगत ऑब्जेक्टिव तरीके से देखना सिखाना है। कृष्णमूर्ति के शब्दों में शिक्षा का कार्य तुम्हें एक पूर्णतया मित्र बुद्धिमत्तापूर्ण तरीके से संसार का सामना करने में सहायता करना है। According to J Krishnamurti, the function of education is to help you to face the world in a totality different, intelligent way. Aims of education, शिक्षा के लक्ष्य। कृष्णमूर्ति के अनुसार नौजवान विद्यार्थियों को संबोधित करते हुए कृष्णमूर्ति ने कहा था, वास्तविक रूप से शिक्षा होने का अर्थ करोड़ों करोड़ों जो कर रहे हैं उससे अनुरूपता, उसका अनुकरण, उसे करना नहीं है। यदि तुम वहां करना चाहते हो तो करो, परंतु जो कुछ तुम कर रहे हो उसके प्रति जागृत रहो। To be really educated means not to conform, not to imitate, not to do what millions and millions are doing. If you feel like doing that, do it, but be awake to what you are doing. स्पष्ट है कि कृष्णमूर्ति परंपरा के विरुद्ध भी नहीं है। उनके अनुसार शिक्षा का लक्ष्य नई पीढ़ी का एक नष्ट प्रकार के जीवन के लिए तैयार करना है। शिक्षा ना तो ज्ञानार्जन है, ना परीक्षाएं पास करना है, ना डिग्रियां लेना और योग्यताएं बटोरना है। कृष्णमूर्ति के शब्दों में यह जानते हुए कि तुमने जीविकोपार्जन करना है, संपूर्ण जिम्मेदारी को निभाना है, उस सब का दुख उठाना है, शिक्षा को तुम्हें एक पूर्णतया मित्र बुद्धिमत्तापूर्ण तरीके से संसार का सामना करने में सहायता करनी चाहिए। According to J Krishnamurti, education must help in facing the world in a totally different, intelligent way, knowing you have to earn a livelihood, knowing all the responsibilities, the miseries of it all. कृष्णमूर्ति ने देखा कि संसार में सब कहीं हिंसा है, विचारों में हिंसा और कार्य में भी हिंसा। संसार में शारीरिक हिंसा है, दमन की हिंसा है, आज्ञापालन की हिंसा और प्रतियोगिता की हिंसा है। किसी प्रतिमान से अनुरूपता में भी व्यक्ति अपने प्रति हिंसा करता है। इसके अतिरिक्त राष्ट्रीयता में, राष्ट्रों के परस्पर संबंधों में और समुदायों में परस्पर संबंधों में हिंसा है। जब मानव संसार में फैली अव्यवस्था के प्रति जागरूक हो जाता है तो वहां मुक्त हो जाता है। यही वास्तविक शिक्षा है। कृष्णमूर्ति के अनुसार वास्तविक शिक्षा एक जबरदस्त व्यवस्था का जीवन जीना है, जिसमें आज्ञा पालन को समझ लिया जाता है, जिसमें यह जान लिया जाता है कि कहाँ अनुरूपता आवश्यक है और कहाँ पूर्णतया अनावश्यक है। यह देख लिया जाता है कि कब आप अनुकरण कर रहे हैं। Education implies to live a life of tremendous order in which obedience is understood, in which it is seen where conformity is necessary and where it is totally unnecessary, as to see when you are imitating. साधारणतया शिक्षा का अर्थ पुस्तकों को पढ़ना, जानकारी का संग्रह करना और उसे या तो स्वार्थ के लिए या किसी विशिष्ट कारण के लिए, किसी विशेष संप्रदाय के लिए स्वयं को उस संप्रदाय में अथवा संगठन में महत्वपूर्ण बनाने के लिए प्रयोग किया जाता है। Education generally used to mean learning out of books, storing up information and using it either selfishly or for a particular cause or a particular set, and making oneself important in that sect or organization. Educational thought of Jiddu Krishnamurti. The following are the educational thoughts of Jiddu Krishnamurti. First, the main aim of education should be the development of spirituality among human beings. Spirituality does not mean becoming slaves of any religion, but it encompasses gaining knowledge of reality through self-realization and self-analysis. Use of scientific discoveries and technical education should not be for destroying of human civilization. It should be for the welfare of human beings. Creativity should be developed among children by education. Liberal and fearless environment should be provided to them for taking self-decision. Aim of education should be to spread love for human being and nature. The concept spirit of diversity as strength, not as weakness, need to be spread among the minds of the young child. Krishnamurti is really an educational philosopher in that his thinking is behind on education. On understanding is fundamentals as well as practices. His educational teachings are integrally woven into his thinking on life, world and humanity. Krishnamurti dealt with them by probing into their very root with his presenting insights. His educational concerns are strikingly contemporaneous and global. They include freedom and discipline, comparison and competition, learning through the sense, scientific temper, joy and creativity. His primary audience has been the educational community, schools, teachers, students and parents. Krishnamurti's educational teaching also encompass such general concerns of mankind as freedom, fear, God, living and dying, love and loneliness, peace and the future of humanity. It is against this awesome set of ideas and his deep love of humanity that one has to understand his educational philosophy. According to Jiddu Krishnamurti, the purpose of education is usually considered an organized, conscious activity with pre-established goals. Krishnamurti stated, truth is pathless land. It cannot be organized. The reconciliation of the apparent contradiction lies in his situating education in the active existential living parents and consideration of education as a cooperative exploration by the teacher and student. Krishnamurti sees education as an intrinsic, self-fulfilling experience requiring no further justification. The function of education is to bring about a mind that will not only act in the immediate but go beyond, a mind that is extraordinary alive, not with knowledge, not with experience, but alive. More important than making the child technologically proficient is the creation of the right climate in the school for the child to develop fully as a complete human being. This means giving him the opportunity to flower in goodness so that he is rightly related to people, things, and ideas, to the whole of life. Concept of teaching and learning. Some of the ideas Krishnamurti relevant to education are listed below that have significance and leave a lasting impact. First is the point of education. Education is essentially the art of learning not only from books but from the whole movement of life. Learning about the nature of the intellect, its dominance, its activities, its its vast capacity and its destructive power. Learning is not from a book, but from the observation of the world, without theories, prejudices, and values. Second one, principle of method. If one really has something to say, the very saying of it creates its own style. But learning a style without inward experiencing can only lead to superficiality. Likewise, people who are experiencing and therefore teaching are the only real teachers, and they too will create their own technique. Third one is schooling without competition and comparison. When A compared to B, who is clever, bright, assertive, that very comparison destroys A. This destruction takes from of competition, of imitation and conformity to the patterns set by B. A lives for the rest of his life, always measuring, always comparing psychologically and physically. Goodness cannot flower where there is any kind of competitiveness. Fourth one is learning through observation. Learning is pure observation, which is not continuous and which then becomes memory, but observation from moment to moment, not only of the things outside you, but also of that which is happening inward. To observe without the observer, look not with your mind, but with your eye. Then you find out that the outside is the inside, that the observer is the observed. Fifth one is freedom and order. If you want to be free, you have to find out for yourself what it is to be orderly, what it is to be punctual, kind, generous, unafraid. The discovery of all that is discipline, freedom is not from something or avoidance of constraint. It has no opposite. It is of itself. Clarity of perception is freedom from the self. Flowering of goodness in all our relationship is possible only in freedom. In the final analysis, Krishnamurti stand out as an educational philosopher not so much for his pure metaphysical beliefs. He is remembered more for the veritable mind of precious insights he has left behind on schooling, teaching and learning. At a time when genuine educational values are being overrun by concerns of the marketplace, Krishnamurti's teaching today have acquired an added relevance and urgency. Curriculum and methods of teaching. Krishnamurti suggested that the curriculum should be according to the interest of the children. Subject and content organization in the curriculum should be the basis of the principle of child psychology, by which natural interest of the child can be developed. Science and technology, sculpture, architecture, home science, industrial skills, literature, game, etc. should be studied under vocational education for earning livelihood. In curriculum, there should be a place of art, poem, and music for the development of creativity of the child. Maximum opportunity of education should be provided through activity and learning by doing. Children should be motivated for self-learning. Teachers should be experimental, self-study, scientific, self-analysis, and playway method in the teaching learning process. Now, concept of teacher, learner, and discipline. He emphasized that the teacher should be a complete human being. Complete human being implies the qualities like consciousness, non-violence, and love. Teachers should not involve in casteism, religionism, prejudice, etc. The place of teacher is like a friend, philosopher, and guide. The students should have the qualities like politeness, charity, love, self-study, concentration, self-discipline, etc. The main purpose of teacher should be to make a student an integrated and complete citizen